Good afternoon and welcome to Lunchtime News. You're with me, Sarah Fonseca. First, we'll take a look at headlines.
Ratnapura Vevelvatta Road hit by yet another landslide as 79 families relocated to safer locations. Two demonstrations held opposite North Central Provincial Council complex. Sri Lanka opt to take first release of the wicket in first test against Pakistan.
A landslide was reported on the Ratnapura Vevelvatta Road in the Galbada Silvaland section caused by the heavy rains. Our correspondent said the landslide occurred around 3 last afternoon.
Close to 79 families have been relocated to safer areas due to the persisting threat of landslides. Our correspondent said vehicular movement on the Ratnapura Vevelvatta Road has been limited. The National Building Research Organisation has suggested another landslide in the area would be imminent if the heavy rains continue, as cracks on the peak of the mountain in the vicinity have developed. Our correspondent said a landslide occurred on the Ratnapura Vevelvatta Road on a previous occasion as well.
Two demonstrations are being staged opposite the North Central Provincial Council complex, obstructing its entrance. The demonstrations are a group of employees of the Road Development Authority and unemployed graduates.
The RDA employees are staging their demonstration in protest to the North Central Provincial Road Development Authority being transformed to a department. The employees charge the North Central Provincial Road Development Authority is being placed under the purview of a department as per an arbitrary decision taken by the subject minister. The demonstration launched by the unemployed graduates opposite the North Central Provincial Council complex has now entered its 5th day. The demonstration has been staged claiming persons who did not qualify a recent teacher examination have been granted appointments. They charge that 420 persons who did not qualify from the examination have been appointed.
Over the past 3 days, Galimbiduruava anti-vice unit conducted raids and uncovered 3 locations in Galimbiduruava and Padikaramadu where individuals have been brewing moonshine.
According to our correspondent, the raids were conducted by a special team of the anti-vice unit. Five suspects were arrested in the raids, while 10 barrels of Goda and other distilling equipment were taken into custody. Our correspondent also noted that the arrested suspects, residents of Padikaramadu, had previously been fined for conducting such activities. The suspects are due to be produced before the Kahatagastigiliya Magistrate Court today.
Officers of the Kabidagolava exercise station seized a stock of Kerala ganja being transported from Kilinochchi to Colombo in the Isinbaskala area in Madhavachia.
Over 22 kilograms of Kerala ganja were found in the suspect's possession. Our correspondent said 2 suspects were arrested in the seizure. The suspects were produced before the acting magistrate of Anuradhapura, Nadi Khure, and were placed under remand custody until the 2nd of next month.
In a cautionary tale, Newsfirst reports of con artists arrested in the Javatta area in Kalutara North.
Our correspondent said the suspect has been impersonating an officer of the police intelligence unit to obtain money from his victims.
He said he was attached to the intelligence unit of the Kalutara North Police. He said he wanted some help and that he would return the favor. He left his contact number when my husband came home and then he left. This was the 2nd day he had come.
He came to our house asking for some money to paint the police station. I informed the matter to an officer at the police station. Our correspondent said the suspect is an officer of the Civil Security Department. The suspect was arrested by the Kalutara North Police yesterday and is to be produced before the Kalutara Magistrate Court today.
A body was discovered along a crossroad in Mount Lavinia today.
The police suspect that the deceased is a 45-year-old. The police added that the remains have been placed at the Colombo South Teaching Hospital for a post-mortem examination. Further investigations have been launched by the police.
The Citizen Voice for a Just Society movement convened a media briefing in Galle yesterday. Chandraseni Vijay Singh, co-convener, spoke of the large-scale fraud in the country.
We had many expectations of this government. As soon as they began, details began to emerge of large-scale corruption in the bond scam. We expected them to take an example from this and correct themselves in the future. However, we can't see this happening. We know that the Southern and Central Expressway projects are currently underway. It is clear that there is a large-scale fraud taking place. They are trying to implement the Central Expressway project using a Japanese company which has been rejected. If you take a look at the estimates, they are massive. They scold the previous government for creating a mountain of debt, yet this government is funding such projects by pawning the entire country. We call on the President to conduct an inquiry into this regard, just like he did for the bond scam.
A media briefing was held yesterday to create awareness on the SLFP election preparation in the Gampaha district. SLFP Gampaha organizers and former Minister Pandu Bandaranaike addressed the media at this occasion.
Back in the day, when our leaders attended events like the UN General Assembly, we were scared because there were constant talks of the electric chair or international courts. Today, after Maithripala Sirisena became the president, the situation has changed completely. The UN has today become a source of strength and support for the activities being done in the country. We stand with the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. We are saddened about the attempts made to weaken the party through the creation of other parties, such as the Party of the Flower Bud. Whether they join us or not, we will lead the SLFP to victory.
An event to distribute educational equipment to students of the Uggoda Primary School in Mathura was held yesterday.
The program, an initiative of the Samadhi Community Development Foundation, was held under the auspices of parliamentarian Buddhika Patirna. Although the system to use textbooks is in practice in Sri Lanka, it is not the case in most other countries. This transition has to happen in the country. Schools should be provided with teachers and principals who are skilled in human resources as well as proper equipment and facilities. Schools should be provided with the proper technology which could save up expenses for textbooks.
An event organized by the Tamil Cultural Society of the Department of Irrigation was held in Colombo yesterday.
Minister of Irrigation and Water Resources Management Vijit Vijayamuni Zoiza also attended the event, which featured a number of colourful performances. Today no one can point the finger and say he is a Tamil, he is a Sinhalese or he is a Muslim. We are all Sri Lankans. As Sri Lankans, our right to live peacefully in this country should be secured. If we begin to rate, condemn or look down upon other religions, it will only lead to destruction.